Um, just as normal, I'm gonna wait a moment, make sure the stream's running properly, and give people a chance to show up. But I think while I do that, I will start with just the warm up. Let's see here, Photoshop. So just like I did yesterday, I'm going to be doing just kind of 5 minute sort of warm up. Um, yeah, I just try to do this whenever I'm kind of beginning practice. Um, just because, especially when I'm working digital, which is something I'm not super comfortable with just like the drawing. Um, yeah, just helps. So I'm gonna start a timer for 5 minutes, and hopefully, while you guys trickle in, I can just kind of draw some like circles. I like to draw a lot of lines, joined 2 points joined with a line. Just kind of a bunch of different little warm-up exercises that I've picked up over the years to, yeah, get me ready to draw hedgehogs, because that's what we're doing today. Yeah, just so people know as they show up, we're warming up right now. So right now, a lot of the warm-up exercises I'm doing are just kind of based off drawbox.com. Hey, Lemon, welcome back, man. Nice to see you again. And good morning. Are you in the same time zone as me? I'm on Eastern time, so it's 10 here. I know a lot of people have different definitions of morning. Eastern time as well. All right. Very cool then. And so, how does this time work for you in terms of streaming, actually? So I feel like for a lot of people, if this is their time, it's maybe not the best. Like people are at work or school or whatever they're doing. So I'm just kind of curious. How does a 10 a.m. stream time work for you guys? And yeah, you as well, Anna. Nice to see you. Audio is echoing. All right, give me a moment. Okay, Lemon. Cool. Let me just see. Um, Sorry, is the audio still echoing, Anna? And Lemon, I'd ask too if that's happening for you. Tatiana. Not quite this time. Yeah, it's possible that the echoing's on your end, Anna. I'm not too sure. My settings have been relatively consistent. Okay, yeah, let me know how that goes, Anna. And yeah, morning, Tatiana. Yeah, this kind of Twitch dashboard doesn't really give me the best indication of how many people are here. It's telling me that there's only one person watching, but I see that isn't the case. Morning coffee. It says there's 5 here. Okay, so I'll just not even look at the viewer count and yeah, whatever. It might be because it's just starting up and it might not be super accurate. Lemon, was it you who suggested the hedgehog? 'Cause I know Tatiana was really going for the water deer. Maybe that's why we had so many viewers, because Anna's watching twice. That's wonderful. All right. Sure, whatever. We're warmed up. So want to make sure everything's running fine for you guys, because yeah, my setup's changed once again. Yeah, thanks, Anna. I really do appreciate it. All of you can feel free to open me up in 2 tabs. So yeah, I will say that I am warmed up, and to get us inspired for this wonderful morning of hedgehog drawing, Melissa showed me something this morning. So we get to watch this. There we go. Aw, poor hedgehog can't get out of his croissant. So oh man. Alright. Oh, he did it. Well done. So actually, I've never really liked the time to look at hedgehogs, but I was doing it this morning to prepare, and man, they're so cute. Bam, here's our reference. Let me check. Yes, his little feet, Diana. Also, this right here is the best picture. I don't know what's happening here, but it's perfect. The hover hedge. All right. So, yeah, just as yesterday, I was trying to get like some different snapshots of hedgehogs from different angles, as well as a skeleton. This is actually a really cool reference photo here. It's going to really help. And then because they do have these little feet, I wanted to get a couple shots that show those off. So yeah, just going to guys, also, how's the balance between like my speaking and the music? Because my like levels got all messed up and I didn't have a chance to test it. So if one of them's too loud, just let me know and I'll tweak things. But yeah, so there is no music. Really? No music. Huh. It's only a hint. Maybe it's just really quiet. Let me turn this up. Now, is the music any better, or does this sound, it's just like an appropriate volume? Leave it there? Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Actually, yesterday was, did you guys hear the music yesterday? So I think I went back and looked at the recording, and it was like so. This is from like the Twitch music library. So I know that none of my videos will get like silence as long as I'm using this. Okay, thanks, Tat. Right. So yeah, we should probably start drawing stuff. Okay. I think I'm gonna start with this little guy down here. Okay, so yeah, really he's like a big kind of, really just like these, this is just kind of big ball sort of thing with little legs, which I quite like. And once again, I'm just starting off by trying to get the main forms, really kind of understand that dome of cuteness and love. I like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of figure out rough proportions, rough shapes, kind of as my like foray into this creature, because I've never drawn a hedgehog before. Maybe I've drawn like Sonic, but I don't think that counts. So I think one of the interesting things for me to pay attention to this one will be like figuring out how to just kind of how the fur like turns into the little like spine like quill things he has. Because yeah, the quills are just like hollowed out hairs. So I guess his hair kind of like turns into it. And so as I'm doing these little cute little feats, I'm gonna be paying attention once again to like this is where it's really good for me to have my where's it, my reference up here, so I can see like how the bones work. So like yesterday, kind of when we're doing the Aardwolf, I kind of compared the legs to like our arms and legs. And so if I was looking at the hedgehog here, like that would be, change the color. Yeah, that would be our just like the kind of like bicep area. I forget what this bone is. And then this would be like the forearm, and then you'd have like the palm, and then the fingers. So it's just standing on the fingertips and pads of the hands. This is like it's like, yeah, like dogs, and also like what we did yesterday with the Aardwolf. Yeah. So when we look at the actual, like what we're seeing here, we only really get to see from like the forearm down, or the you could say like the thigh bone down. This bone here, or this one here, you don't see it too well. It's kind of all hidden underneath the skin. And usually with these, it only kind of moves on like a back and forward kind of motion, just kind of like this. So yeah, you don't really see it are like kind of coming out like this. Like we can kind of like flap our arms like this, but because a lot of these animals don't have collarbones, they can't do this. So they can only go like this. But anyway, I'm not drawing anymore, so I should get back to that. But yeah, just understanding that sort of stuff helps with the drawing, so I know how to properly position, like the feet. So again, I know that there's actually like, there is a bone like right here, but I'm not drawing it. But you will see a kind of erasing in the fur there. That kind of hints at it. And he also kind of has like a little mask here. So what I'm doing at this stage, just to kind of refresh from yesterday, is I'm just trying to learn as much as I can about this animal. I'm roughly doing, like maybe like 15 minutes or so of this before I do my first drawing. So this is all just to learn, to understand, and then what I'm going to be doing is pulling all of my reference photos away and trying to draw the animal just based on what I've learned in this 15 minutes or so. This is kind of the process I like to use for learning how to draw new things. Kind of like just learning a bit, testing myself on it, finding out what my mistakes are, and then fixing them, and then kind of continuing to do that over and over again. I can see why they are kind of like hedgehog is pretty much like the name is like a pig that lives in hedges and stuff. But I can see how it's very pig-like with like its little snout. Yeah. I can see here he has little like sharp claws. They're wild in Ireland. Yeah, a lot of the UK I think is where like they're mostly wild. I don't think in like North America we have them. Lemon, that's really cool to hear. I'm glad that you my thing went to sleep. No, I'm glad to hear that you kind of gave it a shot and it worked for you. I'd love to see actually the results that you got. Again, this isn't about like making pretty results, but it's kind of cool to see what it was like for you. Yeah, I'm not trying to make like the most prettiest hedgehog here. The goal is not beauty, it is understanding, to really learn this animal. So Tatiana, there's just like hedgehogs running around, just chilling. I mean, that sounds pretty great. Okay. I don't even know if I'm really going to be using this reference here, but I just had to include it. One more thing I'm just going to kind of make note of is just like the direction that the fur is going. I think that's really kind of worth noting, is that it's coming from like the nose face area, like the snout, I guess. It just kind of comes in lines and all just comes from there. And so if and when I do want to include fur, it's good to kind of go in that motion. And same with the quills. The quills are all kind of coming from there as well. There's this really nice like rhythm to it that I think is really helpful to focus on. Okay. Scott was waiting in a bus and said there's a dead one. Oh, jeez. So I guess Tatiana, you could just you're just gonna, next time you go to Ireland, you're just gonna pick up just find some wild hedgehogs. Take them home with you. Okay. So, I will stop there with that little hedgehog. I've learned some stuff. Um, say something happy. Do I need to play the hedgehog video again, guys? Lift the mood. Alright, so now I'm going to take away my drawing, take away my reference, and yeah, try and use what I learned to draw a hedgehog. Another thing that I want to do with this is try and draw it in just like we did yesterday, try to draw it in a pose that I wasn't just drawing. So that kind of helps reinforce like my understanding of how the thing's constructed, if I can invent a new way for it to be standing. So let's see, how do I want it to look? See, that was like a 3/4 view. Maybe I'll do like just a complete like side view. Maybe looking to the right instead of the left as I just did. So, oops. Uh-oh. Did I mess stuff up? I don't know. Okay. So it's kind of this like, I think Tatiana, you put it really well. That it's kind of like a dome. That's actually helping me remember it. It's kind of like a little like dome, almost like a turtle. And then it tapers off into a snout. Okay. I'm just trying to think of where to place things. See, it has, like, the head is separate from the body, and in mine it really isn't. But you don't really notice it. So if I really think about where the skull is going to be, the rib cage sort of thing, and then the arm. Okay, so I have one leg there. Actually, no, I'll have these straight. And then the leg's going to be like that. And he's just on his paws there. Something like that, maybe. Okay. Fuzzy, spiky turtle. Kinda, yeah. I think this kind of slopes down more. Yeah, and then kind of like halfway divided is where like the quills start. So I'm just gonna do something like that. The eyes are somewhere around there. The nose, and then the ears were. I'm trying not to repeat my mistakes yesterday with the Art Wolf of not putting the ears far enough back. I think these ones were somewhere around here. And you kind of had this, yeah, he had like this little like mask pattern. I feel like I'm probably gonna have to correct this. So I don't know exactly how that went. Little feet. Those cute little feet. Yeah, and just as always, guys, like, shoot any questions over that you have. About what I'm doing or why I'm doing it or all that sort of stuff. See, this is one thing I'm gonna have to go back and look at is the mouth. I think that actually is something that I routinely don't focus much on, especially with when the animals have like these smaller mouths. A lot of time I just kind of don't bother learning it, and that's that's not a good way to operate. I should spend the time and work on that part that's weak. So again, I'm going to remember that all the furs and the quills all kind of come from the snout, and again, it has this sort of like rhythm, and I can use these lines to really wrap around the forms that I know. So I know that there's going to be a bit of a bulge here on the just around where like this kind of the bicep area, there would be muscles there and stretched kind of skin, just bulging from like the bones and stuff there. So I'll kind of use these lines to hint at that. And then it kind of straightens out a bit as it's wrapping around the side of the body. And then it's going to kind of wrap around again. And again, I'm getting this kind of this rhythm that we saw from the pictures, which is quite nice. And I can kind of I can just pretty much add more of these strokes into the areas that I want to be darker. Just like a sort of hatching. He has this little mask that makes his face a bit darker. Okay. And I'm going to leave the area of the quills. It'll be very high contrast because that's kind of how it looked to me. It's like, I guess because the quills are like see-through, you see like, just it's a lot of like bright whites, dark black sort of things. But again, we're just going with all that we're able to get from our first little bit of study. And then we're gonna fix everything, all of our mistakes. Okay, so I think this is good. I think I'm gonna leave it here. Just gonna. Okay. Right. So now that I've made, yeah, the Kyle Webster brushes are pretty great. Yeah. Totally agree. Anybody who wants to check out some sweet Photoshop brushes, just go to, I'm going to totally promote them right now, go to kylebrush.com. That's all that I'm using here, and I really don't see why I would ever use anything else. But yes, anyway, bring up my reference. Now I'm going to duplicate this because I want to keep my old one so I can compare it later. Brush box to organize them. This was recommended to me not too long ago, actually. I think one of my friends showed it to me, and it looked pretty great. I just I'm certain things I'm quite slow to adopt. A lot of people have been recommending me use certain plugins for Illustrator, certain brushes. Even right now, I'm using the iPad, and I have to make a concerted effort to use these new things, just because it was easy for me just to be like, oh, well, I'm already comfortable working this way. But yeah, I'm sure Brushbox, it looks good. It's just not too much of a problem for me to, because I kind of know which brushes I use and stuff, so I guess maybe there isn't as big of a pain point for me that I need to fix it. So, comparing our drawing to our reference, I think for the most part, I did pretty good. I do think that he could be a little more pudgy, a little more ball-like. because I think he's a bit more stretched out. What would happen if I just like did this? Oops. I lost it. That's okay. I'll do it again. So even just doing that, I think is makes it a bit better. A little more compact. Pudgify. Yeah, I need a pudgify tool. And I would say that there seems to be his belly seems a lot fluffier than what I have. And actually, a big difference I just noticed is that I decided to reverse in terms of like value, like I reversed like the dark and light parts. Like his belly is really light, and his quills are really like if you look at it from like a whole, like if you squint your eyes and like look at the hedgehog, the top is the dark part and the belly is the light part, and I've totally reversed those. So I think that's going to be the biggest change that I make right here. Oh, that's not a very good brush or eraser. And maybe I'll just sure, let's just do something like that. Yeah, that works. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of reverse my decisions here. I'm gonna clean up this little face mask at the same time. Yeah, so again, this is the number one most important part of this process that we're following is fixing your drawing. That is where the most learning happens, because you actually get the experience of like noticing the mistakes and then correcting the mistakes. If you just notice them and just make note of them, it doesn't do the same thing. Like I can look at it and be like, oh, this is the problem I made, but until I fix it, it doesn't really connect as well. So it's always in the doing. His quills stop like behind his ears, so that's really good for me to kind of mention. And then yeah, I think I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna do a quick kind of like I'm just gonna kind of color in his back here, just to get the overall value down. The little cowlick is important. Sorry, what little cowlick? You mean like, just like up here kind of thing? Or is that what you're talking about? This is also puffier here. Another thing too is I want to make him fuzzier in the belly. Just the back of him look. This also is thanks, Diana. You got the most important part. The ear is quite dark too, so I'm gonna darken that up. Okay. Again, though, I am gonna I'm gonna darken some parts of this because I do want to, even though it is white, I do want to add in some shadows and get in that kind of rhythm of the fur that we had before. So I'm going to do that. And then for the quills, What I'm going to do is I'm going to do some kind of really dark ones. Okay. And then I'm actually going to get the eraser, because if you look at the reference, it is like, I think the tip of the quills are white and then they're really dark on the inside, or like near the bottom. But I do want to kind of get some of that white because the contrast is really interesting. So I'm going to use the eraser. Actually, maybe I'll put this back to 50%. So, yeah. And I'm just going to kind of erase some parts out. This isn't giving me as much contrast as I want, but maybe you guys can get the idea there. That I can go back and forth between the dark. If I really wanted to like get really in depth with this, I could do a drawing just focused on the back and the quills. And I could really kind of focus on how they do start off dark and then they kind of get lighter as they get to the top. You could do, just, a quill study, just as we can kind of focus on any other specific part. Okay. So his mouth seems to be there. So from my memory, interesting. Okay, so if I look at this picture here, the mouth kind of lines up here. And mine does that more or less, but I think the ear needs to be lower. Oh yeah, Tatiana, that was Melissa.
Hello.
I don't know if you heard her, but she just yelled hello. And then I'm going to put the keeps. No, it's too low. It's better placement for the ear. It's much more efficient without the ears. And actually, this little pattern goes around the eye as well. So that's something I want to remember. Alright, so it's to be just overall fluffier. Okay. Able to reach warp speeds. Tatiana, I think this one here is already at warp speed. That's the most aerodynamic thing. Yeah, I think this space here is too much. So I'm gonna do another little bit of Photoshop trickery. That. But now his head seems small. Actually, his head seems really small. Yeah. If I come up and look at the skeleton here, his kind of neck starts there. There's his head. So if I were to, so this is something good for me to remember, is to kind of, in terms of getting the proportions, his head is like a third of his body. At least when it's in this stance, but this seems to be a pretty standard kind of standing for it. And then within that, his eyes are going to be like halfway. His eye's going to be like right there. So if I now compare this with my drawing, kind of just knock it into thirds. So this would be where okay, so the eyes and the head's more or less, okay, so I'm actually not too far off. Interesting. Still doesn't seem, still think it needs to be a bit bigger. So I'm just gonna, oops. Something like that, I think. And then just gonna blend everything in. Sure. Again, doesn't have to be a super pretty picture. That's not the point. Okay. So, I think that is our fixed drawing there. I'm just kind of getting rid of some of it. Let's do some cleanup. So if I compare it, so this is the fun part. I take this one and compare it with this one. So we can see the big difference that fixing our drawing made. Our fixed drawing is a little more, a little more pudgy, like we wanted, and not so stretched out. It also has the correct values in it. The top is the darkest, while the bottom is the lightest. And again, it's furrier on the bottom. I would even go as far as saying that we still need to have these quills sticking up a bit more, but that's okay. Either way, this is a good example of going through and fixing your drawing up, so that you can kind of better get the image in your head of what it should, or what's correct and what's not. Right. So, we have two options right now. We can do another drawing just like we did. I'm happy to do that. Or if you guys want, we can try and make a character quickly, do some kind of hedgehog characters. What would you prefer? And it's just, okay, we're doing characters. I thought that might be the answer. I also kind of asked because like that's a bit more fun for me. Um, but yeah, so now using kind of our, and this is how it might typically go. Like maybe the, maybe you're working on a project and you have to do a hedgehog character. So you might start off with what we've done so far, which is study hedgehogs, kind of learn their key characteristics, what they look like and stuff. And then from there, you have enough knowledge to just kind of play around. So, I mean, I think we really gotta make it something pudgy. It's gotta be nice and fat. And that's another thing about doing like character design is like you're kind of exaggerating things. It's like noticing the key characteristics. So in this case, like I think it would be really fun to do a character that's a big, that kind of emphasizes the parallel between like how fat its body is and how little its legs are. So maybe I'm going to start with something like that. And then maybe give it this little head here. We can give it some, we'll make him looking up. Oh, and feel free to like throw out some suggestions too that you want to see with this guy. Let's get that little puff of hair there. And I'm going to exaggerate these quills, I think. Make them a lot thicker than they are. You know, we're getting borderline like Sonic. Does this count as a mohawk, Anna? Or should I make it more mohawky? A bit taller at the top. So we're talking like, let's get the eraser here. It's gonna be like kind of tall, and then maybe get shorter as it goes down. Something like that. This is perfect. And already, like, we kind of have like a, fun little character, and he kind of has personality. Like, he's a little, timid looking, I would say. And I really do like his His little legs that he's got there. A little couple furs on his body. Yeah. Looks like you have allergies. Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. Fair assumption, yeah. He's allergic to hedgehogs. Oh no! What a terrible existence. I don't know about this one, guys. Just looking. This is turning out exactly how I planned. I do like the shape, though. Yeah, so I guess this is a good example of like how, you know, you can do some of like the boring study stuff, like we just did, but then you get to like use it, um, and it really does come in handy. We should do hover hog. It's probably a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna. This one's just not really turning out for me anyway, so let's do that hover hog. Maybe I need the reference for it. Okay. Mine's gonna be smiling though. Here's little hands. Little feet. Hey, Raz. I still don't think ours is as good as the... Yeah, that one's just so great. It's shaped like a Twinkie. Yeah, I can see the Pomeranian. I think what it needs is some head spikes here. Yeah. I like how my viewers went up once I started drawing these. At least from what I see. Nobody wants to see real hedgehogs. They want to see these Twinkie-shaped, silly-looking ones. To be fair, though, maybe this is like... Looks like it needs a good tickle. Yeah. I feel like all the hedgehogs look like they need a good tickle or belly rub. But yeah, maybe more often I should just, like, maybe after I'm done the stream week and like the vector thing I'm working on, maybe I should just do a lot more like character designs or something. Would you guys like that? If I did more stuff like this rather than the like full-on study stuff. Yeah, Lemon, actually, I think this was a really cool thing to do, to show you guys how everything kind of comes full circle. How going through the process of doing drawings like these and stuff bring us to, yeah, give us the knowledge to actually kind of create characters like this. Thanks, Anna. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, too, like, I have a lot more fun doing this sort of stuff. But I think it's important to do both. Like, I wanted to do the kind of like study week here, just so, yeah, you guys get a sense of like a good process for studying subjects and just like, yeah, the benefits of it. So I think it's really easy to to maybe pull up like a reference picture or something and just copy it exactly as you see it, and that's, it can still be good. But it's just not the same as trying to draw in new poses and to work without reference photo and really test yourself to see how well you've learned it. And yeah, Lemon, I think you're right. The mix is good. So we're pretty much at the end of the hour. Hold on, this is important. Perfect. So we're pretty much at the end of the hour. We're going to do the same thing tomorrow. So from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern, we'll be doing a new animal. Yeah, we need to decide what that is. So, what would you guys like to see us focus on tomorrow? Just wait for the, I think the 10-second delay on Twitch. beaver, bearded dragon. These both sound pretty good. I'm gonna do what I've been doing so far, and it's the first animal to get 2 votes. That'll be the one that we do. So if we get a new vote for either of those things, bearded dragon, need more texture. Lemon, maybe you should cast a vote, or maybe you can break the tie here. Something other than fur. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good idea, Anna. Again, though, I'm going to leave that to your collective decision. Komodo dragon. What's the difference between bearded and Komodo dragon? Are they like the same, or are they different? Alright, yeah, let's just do it. Okay, Komodo dragon. That's what we're doing. Yeah, sweet. So yeah, tomorrow, again, same time, we're gonna do Komodo dragon. So we're gonna do the same thing where we start with a warm up, draw from reference, then take away the reference, and then yeah, maybe we'll do some more characters after that too, because this is pretty fun. I think that's a really important distinction. And then actually I'll also mention too that I'm actually doing another stream today. So I'm going to be doing the normal stream, which is from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to be continuing with the vector robot that we're working on. So we'll be doing that in a couple hours. And so there's that, and then there's also tomorrow's animal stream. So thanks everyone. Oh, Diana, sorry. We'll get your water deer in. Fine, here. Thursday, we're doing water deer. How about that? Because this is, you ask for it every single time. So Thursday's water deer. And thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. It was great. We'll see you guys again soon. Okay. Bye-bye.